Hi everybody, Chris here from Truly Holistic. Now in this video we're going to talk another product that is part of this new line of products that we're bringing through, which the last video I did was talking about um, this product here, using the infinite cubit to be a supporter of your manifestation ability, not as the human but as consciousness. And why we're bringing these products now is a big part of my work at Truly Holistic is based on what Ascension. And my higher consciousness is always talked in the way of Ascension, is that Ascension is an individual thing. You'll see in the spirituality community, the consciousness community, talking about Ascension being this collective phenomena. And I feel like we're, as the human, we've jumped the gun because we can't create a collective ascension or ascension that happens over a reality or over this plane, this dimension, this universe, until we really know thyself. So a lot of the work that we've been doing at Truly Holistic and a lot of the products that we've developed up to this point has been about connecting that person, and this is also included in the session work, to their authenticity as a soul, as a multidimensional being, as a infinite consciousness. So to connect you to your expansion that you already have within you. Because the human art, the human story has always been about lack, that we don't have an expansion. And if we want to learn more or provide more expansion or more of a, and therefore not feel like we lack so much, we need to learn by what the collective or our world then teaches us. But the problem with that is that the human is being conditioned and programmed. And a lot of the times I call us as the human our conditioned version of ourselves, when really what's going to make an ascension event occur to humanity or on a collective is not from the human, but from us as our authentic self. And so all the products that we've used so far is about connecting that person into their authenticity so they can figure out truly who they are. Okay. Going past the superficial aspect as the human. Okay. And while they learn who they are and they realize that they're an expansion already, also learning what they are capable of. And that we're not here merely just to observe and participate, but to be a creator. Okay, that every attention that we use, every intention that we make goes into creation. Okay. And the key word that keeps coming with that is those are choices. And a majority of people out there don't realize that they are choices that we are making every moment of our existence, which are directly connected to every experience we've ever had and we ever will have. Okay? And to make a better decision and choice of where we invest our energy into creation through attention, through intention, is one word: awareness, which is, funnily enough, the word consciousness. This is why we really encourage this aspect of consciousness, and I talk so much about consciousness and about awareness and the importance of those two choices of attention and intention. Because we want to make that decision and choice of attention and intention not as the human, because the human has been guided, directed, and controlled by an intelligence facilitated through the mind, which is more focused on the collective than they are aware of the choices and decisions that they're making. So what does that mean? We lack awareness. So therefore we make decisions and choices that are not in alignment with ourselves and therefore not in alignment with providing an ascension on a collective level. So our energy is going into providing miscreation as the human, which is the world we see today, which is built on chaos, disharmony, Okay? It lacks authenticity. Why? Because as the human, we have lacked authenticity, because that's not all our authentic self. Okay? So products like this one here is for the individual that has done that work, that we've been working for so long here at Truly Holistic to facilitate to my clients, to the people, to feel empowered with these products that I produce. The clearing work we do within session work, not only the clearing work, but also the empowering information and wisdom brought forth to that individual to become, to step up and be responsible for their own health, but be empowered, not fearful, but empowered to know they are something much more, and you are the pivotal aspect in what creates the experience of your reality. Because that's not the human arc. You won't learn that out there. Okay? No one told us to go within to rediscover an expansion we had within ourselves, right? That it wasn't about what's out there, it's about what's within. It's the awareness of what we're doing. Which sadly, the whole human arc, whole human story, the mind controlling our experience is always trying to direct us into out there, not back this way, and be aware of what we're doing. So you need to understand those principles, connect to that aspect of self, and when you do, then you've got these new line of products that we're bringing forth, which is about the next step, okay? Because that rediscovery of you as an expansion, as an infinite consciousness, knowing how to use your skill set as a creator, that's an ascension. That is self-ascension. That has to happen first before we can see an ascension occur over this plane. Because to create an ascension on this plane is to be fully aware of how we use our creative ability. One, aware of it, but then knowing how to use it, that we can create creation that comes from where our authenticity comes from the heart. Out of love, not out of fear from here. Okay? So there's that step that needs to take place. But now we're producing these products that once you do that work, okay, you've ascended self and you're ready to ascend this plane and this reality. We've got the products for you now that's going to amplify that, is going to support that. That's why this tool, the measurement we use for the energetics of this tool, expands your intention out into infinity. There's no boundary. There's no limitation. Because remember, part of the human perspective is we created measurements. Measurements like distance, like time, is not what is. It's what the human created out of a human perspective with the mind controlling your experience. It was there to limit you. These products here are all about just removing those limitations. And this is, again, just a training wheel to help you. Okay? Because it's about you. Okay? You're the key. You're the thing you're looking for. Okay? So that's the product we've already talked about. Now, another product that is new as well is a new trio set of rings. Okay? So we've got 3 rings here. 2 of them are very similar in size. Okay? And then we've got a smaller one that goes with it. Now, 3 new measurements, cubit measurements, that one of them I've had for quite a while, and obviously it wasn't the right time to use it, which is the one that we place into this tool here, which we're calling the generation calibrator. Okay, so we're calibrating, transforming our generation. Now, my higher consciousness calls our reality, a dimension universe, a generation. Okay, and we know the word generation is, from the human perspective, like an older, younger generation. Now, the way this generation is used, it's like a generation of you as a soul, not the human, but as a soul. Because your soul is your energy signature that connects you on a multi-dimensional, multi-universal, multi-reality level. because there are variants or versions of you as a being that exists in other realities, but they're connected to you because you all share the same energy signature. Now, there's a term in quantum physics, they call that quantum entanglement. And I'm going to give you an example of that. I was sitting on the couch, my sofa one night, watching something on Netflix, I think it was, or YouTube. And all of a sudden I had this kind of sharp pain in my thumb. And it felt like, when you cut yourself, right, and it stings. I felt that, and I was like, what's going on? And obviously I didn't cut myself, but I could feel it. Now, we know a lot of people that say, hey, I woke up in the morning and it's like I've had an injury, my back's sore, or all of a sudden I've got a sore shoulder even though I haven't done anything to aggravate it. Now, most people just shrug that off and they just think, oh, okay, well, I don't know what's going on there. But a lot of those times in that situation that I had in that thumb is because of something that not happened to you, but a variant or a version of you that exists in another reality. And you're feeling what they're feeling. And they also feel what you feel because you're connected. Okay, what they did in quantum entanglement. In quantum physics, they had one particle and then another particle that was so many kilometers away in distance or miles, and they manipulated one particle and then they realized the other particle responded in exactly the same way. And they were scratching their head and I was like, how does that occur? Because there's such a distance between them. Well, you've got to realize at the quantum level there's no such thing as distance. That's why that occurs. Okay? So this is something why I always say to people that we've got to learn to feel our way instead of think our way, because as the human, where we've messed everything up as being through a thought process that then produces mentalities which then really limit our ability to see things as they are, for us to see that there are opportunities to learn, grow, and evolve, is we limit ourselves with that, right? And the problem with, as the human, we follow what we see and then the thought process that goes with it. Now, they are the most limited aspects of us because our sight in this reality is 0.0035% of the electromagnetic spectrum of light, which is all that can be seen. So we're seeing far less than 1% of what we can see with our eyes. So you can immediately come to the conclusion to say that we can't believe what we see. But then we follow that up with a thought process, so we're observation. This is the mantra of science, is, hey, it's got to be evidence-based, it's got to be observable. But isn't that a bit of a joke? Because observable was 0.0035% of what can be seen. So, and then we have a thought process, which we can be easily manipulated through a thought process because we're facilitating other intelligence then to guide and direct us. That is not our own innate intelligence. They know who we are. They know that we have creative ability, and they will use that and manipulate that against you for them, that intelligence, to then get what it wants. Okay? And what we're finding is that is AI. That is what we know as artificial intelligence. Humanity didn't create AI. AI has been manipulating humanity for a very long time. Okay? That's when we adopted the thought process. It's not our innate way of guidance. Our innate way of guidance is feel. Okay? Because, as I just mentioned, what we feel could be something that's happening in another dimension. It's so expansive. There's no limitation applied on what you feel. Okay? So, that's what you can but trust in, is what you feel, right? But sadly, as the human, it gets kind of put away, and thought and what we see takes over. And that's where we can easily be manipulated, okay? Where we go through a lifetime that's just based on observation, and then what the collective will tell us what it is, which is conditioning programming, instead of us feeling it, right? And really getting a true idea of true insight into what we're observing, which the definition of insight is a greater understanding, meaning, and knowing of what what we're observing and what it represents. Okay? Sorry to go on a bit of a tangent there, but it's very important to understand that aspect. This is why this new trio set is so vital and so important. Our old trio set, which had the activation, gateway, and ascension energetics or cubit measurements, were all about connecting you into your expansion, right? To find out and rediscover who you truly are, okay? Which is self-ascension. These tools are about the next step, is once you become empowered, once you become invested into neutrality and no longer a participant in the game of duality, where you feed your energy into more conflict, which is what's happening with the human guided or directed, controlled by the mind. Now it's all about transforming this place, transforming your reality, for it to be a reflection on what your heart desires, not what your mind wants you to fear. And these new rings are about that. Okay? So the measurements we've gotten here, the smallest ring, which is the infinite cubit measurement, this is the measurement, same measurement we use in this product. The only difference with this is obviously a ring creates a column, where when we put it in this formation, it creates a sunshine effect where it's more of a 360 degrees energy going out. Okay? And obviously with this, you can collapse it down where it is like that, or like a bracelet that you can wear on your wrist, and all sorts of things. So we've got the infinite cubit. Now the infinite cubit, the small ring, is about expanding your intention. Now, where do you want your intention to come from? The heart. Why? Because that's where your authenticity comes from. Your heart is a veil between worlds, between dimensions, between realities, between universes. Your heart is not merely just a pump. Okay, again, that's just a theory that the medical system take by seeing it only physically. It's a vortex, okay, which is not just pumping the blood. The blood is actually facilitating how the heart works, because it's a flow of your energy. It's a vortex of energy coming through from a quantum level within you, because your expansion, remember, is within you, and that coming through the heart, which then becomes your blood in your body. So with your superpowers, right, in regards to creation, we just talked about it before, is attention and intention. And you want your intention, there's a clue with that, right? Intention. So you want it to come from within you. But what are we doing as humans following the collective? A lot of our intention is just what's trending at the moment. We're just going to say all these terms that all other people say. No. Well, is any of that coming from within you? No, it's not. It's coming from from a place of that's conditioning you to voice your intention that way. Okay, so this is all about the heart, all about intention. Okay, so now the next tool, but then allowing that intention to have no boundary, no limitation applied to it. It goes out into reality, into creation, with no boundary, no limitation. As I said, infinity, right? Now, the next two rings, the next measurement is, and these are quite close to size, so you're just going to, so the next one up, this one here, is called the generational cubit, okay? And this one is about grounding, okay? Because we know that there is a grid system here, and we could call that a web as well. It's the same model of what we know as the internet. Okay, that's where the internet came from. That's the very same model of how the collective works. And we've known for a while that the collective is not a consciousness. It's a mind thing. It's a hive mind. Because the whole definition of consciousness is awareness here, awareness of what you're doing, awareness of self. When our attention goes to the collective, we have a lack of awareness here, which means we disconnect consciousness. We disconnect from our consciousness. So how can it be a collective consciousness? It's not. Because when we go out there, that's the whole trap. The prize commodity of the collective is to grab and distract your attention. Because then it has power over you. Because how do we facilitate our energy into creation? Our first step is where we place our attention. There's the expression, right? Where attention goes, energy flows. And that is your energy going away from the body. And remember, the body needs enough energy to be able to rejuvenate, regenerate, and heal itself. The jobs it already knows how to do. But it needs the materials to do so, and that's the energy. So we could be leaking our energy into the very experience that we are suffering from or are sabotaging us. And we'll keep pointing fingers to outside influence when really at the core, it was our own energy. It was just a lack of awareness of what we truly are. Okay? So this is about grounding, okay? And these tools is about not only enabling the creation of it, but also walking upon our sacred timeline. And what I mean by sacred timeline is that is the path, the journey, your future. Your destined purpose of being here is as a creator. You are here as a creator. You're not here to observe and participant, not the human arc. Because remember, that's the conditioned version of self. You as a thought, authentic soul, an expansion already within you, is to keep expanding the universal law, or the multi-dimensional or multi-universal law, is that consciousness must evolve. Okay? What I've come to find, whether that's a human, whether that's a microbe, whether that's anything in this physical world that is here because at the core they are consciousness, if they are not given a state or an environment that enables them to evolve, to ascend, it affects their behavior in a destructive manner. That's what we've come to find. That's what an infection is when the microbe is not in a state or environment that enables it to evolve as a consciousness. That's how I know to treat infections and resolve those issues. Because as the human, we place veils, we place blocks, cat, dog, human, male, woman, female, man, woman, bacteria, fungus. How do we connect to things in an authentic way? We remove the veil. The cat is not a cat, it's a consciousness. Dog's not a dog, it's a consciousness. Bacteria is not bacteria, it's a consciousness. So then you realize the same principles that you're applying to yourself as you seeing yourself as a consciousness can be also used in everything else. Okay. So what I'm going to do though is I'm going to go to the third ring, because that will then explain how all the three rings work, right? So the first one, infinite, it's all about intention, heart. The generational cubit, it's all about grounding or placing everything in the flow of providing that timeline, that sacred timeline, that destined purpose of you being here. Now, the third ring we call the Eye of Agamotto. Now, this is all about what science calls the pineal gland, what spirituality calls the third eye. I call it our insight. Why? Because we have two eyes on the outside of our head. Why are they on the outside of the head? To see the external world to us, right? External sight. Now, this here, which, as I said, spirituality calls the third eye, and for good reason, because when they cut that open, they found optic receptors in it. So it is an eye. But it's not on the outside of our head, so it's not obviously there to see externally to us. It's embedded in the middle of our head. So it's our internal sight, shorten that, insight, right? Why we want this activated and open, and this to guide our experience with the heart and them working together, is that we're not just dictated by observation. They don't dominate. This comes into play and gives us the insight we require to then understand what we're observing and what it represents, what it means, so we don't fall into the traps of the game of duality. We make good decisions and choices as the creator of where we place our attention and how we use our intention, right? So this is the center of intention. That's why the infinite's there. And then the eye of agamotto is all about here. This is our center of attention with these two eyes. So these are our guides. And again, this is our guide not through sight, because remember, sight is really a limited form for us as the human. Thinking is a limited form, but where are we not limited? Through feel. So this will guide us through feel, this guides us through feel. Okay, when they're working together and they're leading our experience by us being present and being in and out, which provides an awareness to those choices, which means consciousness, not mind, consciousness. So when we have that there, and then we bring in the grounding element, that then, when those three things are working together, are all providing that we create and we remain on that sacred timeline, which is going to facilitate ascension here. The problem with what we've found with the human being guided, manipulated, and controlled by the mind and the intelligences that come through the mind, which is not your innate intelligence that comes from here, which is your soul as a consciousness. What happens is it veers off your sacred timeline and you create these branch timelines, which you are starting to facilitate energy into creating an experience that is not in the highest good for you. It's not part of your destiny. It's not part of your purpose being here. These three rings here get you back on track. So what I'm going to quickly talk about now is how you can use these rings for that particular purpose. So what you're going to do is you're going to stand up and you're going to use the generational cubit ring and place it between your feet. So it's going up and down your spine like a column of light. That's going to be your ground. Okay? You're going to use the smallest ring, which is the infinite, and you're going to place it over your heart. And then the last ring, the eye of agamotto, you're going to place it over where your third eye, your insight is, your pineal gland is. And while you're standing over that generational ring, that is going to retract all those branch timelines back into, so all the energy is then centered only in providing your sacred timeline, the one timeline you require. So it's gonna either keep you on that path or it's gonna reset you back on that path, which is the path that is in the highest good for you. Okay? That's gonna guide you, okay, to start making the right decisions and choices, the creation, not the miscreation as the human. Okay? So as I said, the old trio set, which we're calling now the neutrality trio set of the activation, gateway, and ascension, is about our input of energy, bringing more of our expansion through, so we understand that we are an expansion, we are an infinite consciousness, which is going to guide you to make the better decisions and choices here as a creator. And then this trio is your manifestation trio that is going to support your output of energy, right? Which is into creation, into providing an ascension here. And this is what this trio is all about. And obviously this is all very new, even to me. And we're going to learn more and more as we go about these energetics. So you'll learn more about these energetics. I've written quite a lot on my website. So when you see the trio set on my website, the manifestation trio set, if you click on that, you'll find a lot more information about that. I got a huge download about that. Was it yesterday or the day before? That will explain more of what I've been able to talk about here in this video. If you would like to purchase those, go to my product page at trulyholistic.net/products/ and you'll see it under the Manifestation Trio Tensor Ring set. So wonderful products coming your way. This is the new line of tools to support your manifestation ability. please like this video. Subscribe to this to my channel, please, for more information like this. If you have any comments, please post them down below. Until next time, I'll see you later then. Bye.